Hello, my name is Thomas Ward. I am doing the demonstration video here for Vanity Generator. This program is used to create vanity Bitcoin addresses, which you can then utilize on your Bitcoin client or in one of your wallets that you may have on the internet. Now, most of you probably have a Bitcoin wallet that you already use. I personally use Bitcoin QT, and I also use the blockchain.info web wallets. The key point is that every single wallet has its own address, but some people want to actually have customized addresses which show a specific type of prefix or word in the address itself. This is usually usable in cases where you wish to show different addresses for different purposes. One could be for your business, one could be for yourself, one could be for saving your funds, some could just be for, selling them on whatever site you want. The key point here, though, is that you have to create a vanity-generated address in order to actually have a customized address. Otherwise, there will be a random mix of letters and numbers with mixed case, and it will always start with a 1. Now, as you can see, I have a web page open in my browser. It is on bitcointalk.org, which is the forum for Bitcoin stuff. This is the thread specifically on Vanity Generator. As you can see in the nice little window right here, I actually gave you the address. This way you can actually write it down and actually go to the page. I'll leave that there for a few seconds for you. Okay, now specifically with what version of a computer you have, you will either have Windows or Mac, or maybe you'll have Linux. On this introductory video here, this demo is being done in Windows, so it's a little bit easier for people to get started with. Specifically, as you can see, there is an item right here. It actually says the Windows binaries are right there. So we're going to click this link, and we're going to save the file to wherever. I'm going to save it to the desktop for easy usabilities, or well, wherever Firefox saves it to. This is in my downloads folder now, and it doesn't really matter where it is as long as you know how to get to it. I'll explain how to do that later. Okay, so now we have the files downloaded. This is VanityGen version 0.22. There may be a newer version out there, but by the time you read this, but the basics are still the same. So we're going to open up this file, which is a zip file, and we're going to extract it to the same folder that we're in. And once that's completed, we'll then have to go actually access the binaries. Now, as you can see, another window opened up. This is the programs that are included with VanityGen. These will actually help generate the vanity address that you decide to use. In order to actually use Vanity Generator, though, you need to have a little bit of command line. Unfortunately, there is no graphical interface to the Vanity Generator, so we actually have to go back a folder to where we originally downloaded the folder to, which, as I said before, is my downloads folder. We're then going to have to click on the now extracted folder, and I did shift right click, as to say I pressed the shift button and I held it and I right clicked the folder. We're going to click the command that says open command window here, which will open the command line to the folder that we are specifically in. Now what you can see here is I now have two windows up. I have the command line and I have Notepad. The command line, of course, as we just did, is locating itself in the folder that we actually downloaded VanityGen to. This way we can actually access the programs in that folder. What VanityGen does is, given a prefix, in this case we'll be using one test, given a prefix it will try and guess and brute force the key for an address that starts with this prefix. In order to specifically get that to work, it has to generate every possible key it can to find the address. Now, to actually find an address, you actually have to understand what you're doing with the program. So just to show you what's in the folder, type into the command line window dir and hit enter. This is a list of all the programs that come with VanityGen. The only one we really have to worry about is vanitygen.exe. and we're going to use that to specifically find one address. As you can see in the notepad window, I have a prefix that we're going to use, 1TEST, and we're going to begin by typing first vanitygen.exe, and there's a bunch of other options you can use. I usually use -o, and then I specify a file name, because that will save all the keys we find specifically to a file. I'm just going to name it onetest.txt. Now, VanityGen has two modes. It can either do case sensitive, that is to say it will find, as we enter the prefix, that. So it would find anything that has a 1, a capital T, and then EST in lowercase. You can tell it to do insensitive mode, in which case it will find something like this, or that, or any variation of that in the beginning of the prefix. And it will usually go faster because it will be more likely to find one of those addresses. Because this is such a short prefix, and for this demonstration, we are only going to use just the capital 1 all here. We're not going to do case insensitive. For longer ones, you usually should do case insensitive, unless you want to have a year or more to generate it. Now, I'm just going to go through what we have here on the command line. vanitygen.exe is the program. -o says I want to save this to some file. The next argument there is the file name. And this here is the prefix. So now, as you can see, it is running. It is going to slow down this video a little bit because I'm using a lot of power on my computer. The difficulty number there indicates a numerical version of the difficulty it will take to find the key for this specific address. Now, as you can see here at the first part here, as it's changing, is telling you how many keys per second it is testing. So it's averaging about 200,000 keys per second on this computer. The total number here is exactly how many keys it's looked at thus far. The probability is the probability you'll find a key. This here over says that the probability that in 50% of the keys that are tested will find an address will be reached in approximately 13 minutes from now. When it actually finds an address, it removes the probability and starts over and tests a whole bunch of new keys in order to find a new address. Without one of the options I did not include, it will only find one address. So then you won't have to worry about having 1,000 different addresses of this kind to use. Okay, so obviously I've had this running for about, probably close to 20 or 25 minutes, because this took a while to generate. As you can see, this is the output from Vanity Generator itself. It actually gave us the pattern that we used, the actual address it found the key for, and the actual key. So you would import that key into whatever wallet program you're using. I don't have Bitcoin QT on this system, so I can't show you on that. And most other wallet systems will have an FAQ on how to do that. But to show you where this got stored to, it actually got saved to a specific location. So we go back to the user folders. Here's under downloads. We go to the VanityGen folder. And we have this text file here called onetest.txt. We open that, and let me make it so that you can actually see what it says here. Hold on. As you can see here, it actually gives us the key in a way that we can actually access it later rather than having to copy everything from the command line. So this was a demonstration of Vanity Generator and how it works to generate one address. Thank you for your time.